Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Cunningham, a school and clinical psychologist, associate professor in the teaching stream at the University of Toronto, and head of the academic intervention lab, where we look at the intervention and assessments for students who have learning challenges. It's an exciting time in education. We have over 100 years of knowledge on how to effectively teach students how to read. We also now have the tools to be able to go in and screen and teach students how to read, even if they have underlying learning disabilities or dyslexia. However, I'm also very frustrated. I'm frustrated because every single day in the clinic, we see students coming in who still don't know how to read and write. And the reason I'm frustrated is we don't have the political will to be able to infuse our education system with the knowledge that we have from the science. 2 years ago, in February 2022, when the Ontario Human Rights Right to Read report came out, I thought we would have that political will to be able to change our education system, to make it one based on the evidence-based education. And some amazing things have happened. Ontario has a new literacy curriculum that is founded in the science of reading, which is fantastic. And other jurisdictions around Canada have noticed and are looking at our curriculum. Ontario has also brought about universal screening from kindergartens to grade 2 to be able to identify students who are at risk of literacy failure in the future, which is really important because we know that there is a critical period to be able to teach someone how to read if they have an underlying learning disability or dyslexia. And we have the political will to start to impose these new screening tools so that we can be able to catch and identify those students. However, the 2024 update on the right to read report card that just came out does show that we have that new curriculum, does state that we have the screeners, but also says there are 3 other areas that Ontario has not made great gains in. And the first one is teacher training. We still do not have unified teacher training to ensure that the individuals who work with our kids on a day-to-day basis have the knowledge that they need to be effective in teaching kids how to read and write. Now, there are some amazing teachers out there who are going and gathering this information on their own, but it shouldn't be left to teacher by teacher to go and find this information. We need a systematic way of providing teachers with this training. School boards need to adopt new training programs so that they're ensuring that all students are being educated by teachers who understand the science of reading and have the tools to impart the science of reading. We also need better additional qualification courses that are in line with the science of reading so that we're not continuously teaching outdated practices. And the universities also need to ensure that the next generation of teachers know the science of reading. We need to continue to update the syllabuses and curriculums at the universities to ensure that teachers who are coming out of Teachers College know on the first day how to be effective in their jobs. Another area is in the area of accommodations. Accommodations are how we support students to engage in the regular curriculum if they have an underlying area of weakness. Accommodations can be anything from a teacher reading out loud or having a peer read out loud to a student, giving a student more time on a test, or the use of assistive technology, which is any technology that allows the individual to maintain or improve their level of functioning if they have an underlying disability. Through research that was done in my lab, we know that when it comes to assistive technology, it can be very powerful for students who can't read by having a computer read out loud to them, that there are still some major barriers. Teachers continue to provide students with educational materials in a format that the computer can't read it, either by giving it to the student on a piece of paper that has not been scanned into the computer, or even if it's in a digital format, the computer can't read that format that's provided. So even though the student has the technology, they can't get the technology to work because of the format. It's kind of like giving someone who is paraplegic a wheelchair and saying, hey, you need to get into school, but we're not putting a ramp in the front of the school. You still need to get up those 2 steps on your own. We need to do better in looking at the accommodations that we're providing our students to ensure that they can access the regular curriculum. as well as within professional assessments. PPM 8, or the Policy and Procedural Memorandum 8, that is put out by the Ministry of Education, is the rules on how to identify students who have a learning disability, including dyslexia. However, we have not updated that PPM 8. We haven't updated the rules on how to identify. They are still based on the processing of strengths and weakness model, which is an outdated way of thinking about learning disabilities and dyslexia. We have clear science on how to go about identifying and diagnosing learning disabilities and dyslexia, and we need to update our models on that. We have rules out there. The Diagnostic Statistical Manual tells us what we need to be looking for in terms of a proper diagnosis, but we still don't have, in Ontario, changing all of our rules to be in line with those sciences. So we need to do that. As well as psychologists need to update themselves on how to be more effective in their assessment techniques so that we can more quickly and accurately be able to diagnose individuals who have learning disabilities and dyslexia. Because when we do a good diagnosis and we get a good learning profile, then we can be able to ensure the right accommodations are provided to those students. And if we have a trained educational workforce, they're going to be able to deliver those accommodations and remediations to ensure that all students are able to achieve their best. The team here at Learn Different, which is made up of psychologists, researchers, and other educators, we're here to be partners with those who want to join us in our efforts to continue to make the changes in our education systems so that we don't continue to see in our psychology clinic, bright lights, students coming on a day-to-day basis who still don't know how to read and write, and that we can ensure that they can get the supports that they need in their local school, and so that they can be just like everyone else in their class. Thanks very much.